Hello everybody. So today in this video I'm going to be talking about the different varieties of mint that we grow here in our garden. So one of the first ones I'm going to show you here is our spearmint. Latin name Mentha spicata. So this one we've just got in a big tub here. That was so that it was a little more contained. I do have some varieties planted in the ground, but for the most part we try to keep them in containers because anything in the mint family definitely likes to spread around. So as you can see, this is like all over the place in here. Now the spearmint is one of the more commonly used culinary mints besides peppermint. Peppermint definitely has a stronger flavor. The spearmint has a lighter flavor to it, so I know some people do prefer using the spearmint above the peppermint. I personally have used more of our other varieties of mint that I'm going to show you later, but this is a nice plant that's going here. And so here is our lovely collection of mints that we've got in the pots. So let me go through everything here. All right, so here's this one's still pretty small, a chocolate mint. We did have chocolate mint one other year that we had planted in the ground, but unfortunately it did not survive this winter with all the snow. So we had to get a new one, but this is the chocolate mint. Now, interestingly, as I go through all these mints, they are named after, well, like chocolate mint here, other foods. Because they kind of have a little bit of a scent and taste that goes along with it, which it is true once you've actually experienced it. So yeah, chocolate mint does almost have just a little bit of a chocolatey kind of scent to it along with the mint, which is something that people suggest. I have yet to try it with some things, matching up, like say doing chocolate mint, baking it into something or using it in something that has chocolate in it, because it does kind of enhance the flavor. So that's something fun to try with some of the mints. But yes, this is the chocolate mint. I also think these ones are very beautiful. You can see like the kind of purplish brown stem. So I think that's a very pretty plant too. And then here we have our apple mint. It's also known as woolly mint, which I don't know if you can see that. It is kind of fuzzy, which is unlike a lot of the other mints. It's got a very soft, kind of almost plushy feel to it. So I guess that's why it's woolly mint, but same thing here, slight apple scent to it. But another unusual variety of mint. This guy's getting pretty long, which, by the way, too, mint is really easy to make cuttings of. So when you start getting bits like this that are long, you can snip them off at a certain point and set them in water or dirt and make a whole new plant. This is the strawberry mint. I did notice when I was researching this one, they say that strawberry mint isn't as vigorous of a grower as some of the other varieties of mint. I can't really say from experience, but definitely I would say, looking at it, comparing it to some of the other pots of mint we have, this definitely isn't as bushy as some things. But yeah, that has a delicious little strawberry scent on it as well. Here's our banana mint. So you can see this one's doing really well. He's very happy where he is. And smells a little bit like banana. This one, as you can see, at least in my opinion, the leaves look a little bit different. I actually, from a distance, until I smell it, wouldn't have known it was a mint. It looks a little bit different. But it indeed is. And then over here is our grapefruit mint, which that's an interesting one with its light scent of grapefruit. So it's got some nice big leaves on it. And then this one here is sweet spearmint. It's a nice big healthy plant too. And just the other day I did actually go around here and take some cuttings and put them in some jars of water to start making some new plants. We like to share those with other people. But obviously you can see even with me having taken some cuttings off of these plants, they're still so bushy. So very vigorous growers. And the last one I'm going to show you then is in the garden bed. And here is our orange mint. So this one I did plant in the ground. This one's probably been in this bed maybe for about 3 years now. And it's really spread around like mint is prone to doing, because there's a bunch here, but if you look throughout, I know there's some, maybe not over there, but definitely over in this area. There's more coming up, and probably between some of these other plants too. And that one, hence its name, orange mint, is kind of orangey smelling and tasting. This one we've had longer, so I've used this one a lot more. With its slight orange flavor to it, I've actually made tea with it. So I use our roselle hibiscus, and then I've bought dried rose hips from the health food store, and then used the orange mint, and I've made a tea, which I drink hot or cold. It's good either way, but that's a tasty tea I like to make on occasion, and it's good for you too. So that's something I do with the orange mint. Now, I wanted to talk about peppermint, which we don't actually have, but being peppermint is one of the main mints even people would know. I just wanted to speak a little bit on it because all these other mints can still be used in similar ways, especially medicinally. Now, peppermint's going to be more potent, but some of these other mints, they've still got those health properties too. So I'm just going to go through a little bit about that. So an interesting fact about peppermint too is I was not aware of it. Other people probably knew that, but I did not. That peppermint is actually a hybrid between water mint and spearmint. So peppermint has more of like the menthols, and some of the other chemicals and things that are in the mint are a lot more, how would you say, concentrated and to a higher percentage there, so that's why it's a lot stronger flavored and a lot more minty. I hear water mint is quite minty, maybe even too much for some people's liking, but yeah, I didn't know that technically it was a hybrid between the two. But peppermint has a lot of other medicinal uses then. Again, using it in tea for various things like relieving congestion, stomach aches. I personally do like using products with mint in it to kind of soothe the tummy, you know, when you've got something going on, and for relieving congestion. But let me list a few other things. It's also known to be anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antibacterial. It's a mild stimulant, decongestant. And so yeah, indigestion and nausea and upset stomach, it's good for that. Cramping was another thing, relieving toothache, pain. And it's good for bacterial and viral infections as well. And of course, soothing a sore throat, since a lot of lozenges and things have the mint in them. So yeah, it has a lot of benefits with that. Then another thing to mention is obviously the culinary purposes. Obviously a lot of candies have mints in them, which I see a lot of possibilities as far as desserts and things go, especially with all the mints like strawberry and banana mint being it, they have all those little extra bits of flavor. I see putting that with like ice cream or things like that. There's a lot of potential with that. And obviously the teas, you know, like the tea I described that I made, I'm sure you could come up with plenty of other things with those other flavored mints. Another thing I was going to mention too that I like to use the mint tea particularly for is, as a singer, I do notice that the mint tea actually does help my throat a lot as far as just kind of clearing things out. Like if I am going to be performing or singing somewhere, it does help. When I might have had a lot of like phlegm in the throat or that sort of thing, it does help clear that. So oftentimes like where I go to perform even, it is a coffee shop, so they do have tea there. So I like to do the mint tea sometimes, because before I go up to perform, that does actually help. So that is one of the other uses that I like to use it for. But yeah, mint has quite a few uses, as I've named. I know there's more I haven't listed there. There also are other varieties that I was not aware of, and you may not be aware of either. Varieties that we do not have, but would be interesting to find and see what those are like. So pineapple mint, ginger mint, curly mint, Moroccan mint, then there's mojito mint and Kentucky kernel mint. And both of those we had in the past, but yeah, the snow killed those off too, so we have not gotten those types back. But yeah, so there's a lot of interesting things about mint, its uses and the different types. So that's a plant I really enjoy, and it's very easy to propagate. It spreads very much, but that's why we keep them in the containers, like I'd said. But yeah, I hope that this video may have gotten you interested in some of these other varieties of mint, or being able to use them in other culinary or medicinal ways. I encourage you to research those things a little bit more if that interests you, and thank you for watching.